This is a theory video to explain why sometimes your arrangements in a book are going through quite complicated chords and why there are no chords written on top because probably you've learned how to read music, but you haven't learned recognizing your chords. So you could see the melody itself is delineated C chord. So you think, oh, I'll just play C chord. You could do that. But if you do have that little A there, right? Then A with C on top in the melody in beat 4 and a G on beat 3. What chord has A and G and C in it? Chord A minor 7. So you could write yourself A minor 7 on top of beat 3. And then after that, it's a D. And the melody has a step. But in there, because of the D, it's suggesting that the G is being treated as a non-chordal tone. It doesn't belong to your chord, and the E don't. They both don't belong. So the ones that belong to your chords are here, F and D. And then you have a C along with the FA. So that kind of confirms that you are in D minor just by looking at the left hand. But then the C on top makes it a D minor with a 7. So you went from the A minor with a 7 to the D minor. Notice the relationship between A to D. It's a fifth down or a fourth up. That happens a lot in music. So if I had to play the full chord, A minor 7, D minor 7, and the G7 only comes right there at the beat 4 in these arrangements.
Dr. Dahl,
Yes.
in calling that A minor 7, you call that because instead of the C6? Is that because of
Oh
the
yeah. So some books would call it C6. So yes, if you put the A on top, when you're calling it C6 for some books, I think it just makes it easier to find it. But harmonically speaking, we usually analyze with respect to the rest of the song. When you call it C6, you're saying basically it's basically C chord. You're just kind of decorating it with an extra note, which is the number 6, which does happen a lot with chord number 1. But if you're calling it an A minor, you're telling it that, oh, you're resolving here. And
so
that
you call it A
resolves
minor
here
because
to G7. You see how the D minor goes down to
yeah,
G7? And you're basically emphasizing the fact that you're doing a circle of fifth because you're going
okay,
from
so
A
that
to D to
the
G.
spacing, the intervals would go from A naturally to D. So you call it A7, A minor 7
Right.
instead of C6.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a fifth, right? A
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
into D, down
Yeah.
to G.
Okay.
We're circling around the fifths, and which is basically the basis of harmonization. Often we can call it something else to make it easier on our hand to find it. C and then C6. And then D minor 7 can be played right there because you can find the inversion right there. You could
Yeah.
call this D minor slash C in some books because it's D minor slash the C note is at the bottom without having to explain, oh, it's a D minor 7. So I'm explaining the theory. This is a theory video. Okay.
Okay, I got it.
And
Thank you.
after that, the third phrase, what is that? Oh, it's my A minor 7 again. Then it's my D minor 7 again. There's the, what is that D doing there? G doing there? It's an anticipation of the next chord, which is your G7. So basically you're having the same chords over and over. A minor 7, D minor 7, and G7 for the entire first line. But the way they arrange it makes it a little easier on the hand, right? minor 7, and that is part of the D minor 7, and this is part of the G7. Okay. And then the second line, you could see the walking bass line principle that we've talked about in class. In this case, your chord is still just C, because even the B belongs to your C major 7 chord. So the only note that's sort of out of line here is the A in the left hand. Otherwise, the C, the B belongs to your chord, not A, the G. But basically the principle of walking. So if I hold that together, you could see that it's all belonging together. Then D minor, G7 for both beat 3 and 4. What is that? sus2. sus2 that we've talked about in another video. sus2 and sus4 are very, very popular. In fact, he uses sus4. Oh no, that's the G7, sorry. The end of the second line. Right? So the sus2, C, D, G, going to G7. And then it repeats the same harmony on line 3. Line 3 is line 1, so let's scroll up. Oops, how do I go up from here? There we go. Okay, the only harmony that's difficult and has not been explained, that was walking bass line, D minor 7. Then you have this. So you got the G sharp, the B. Let's put the D up here. What's missing is that one. So it's E7, because E7 resolves to A minor. Right? E7 to A minor. So that's what you have miles away. Around miles is the E7, the dominant chord 5 of the next bar. Way is chord A minor. And that's how you could put a chord symbol on top. So the next part, you can only see the left hand, sorry. I cannot blow it smaller because then you won't see. So here we go. The melody is, here we are. And of course the fingering that's there, it's okay, but then you have to lift. There's no way. Then you have to lift. And then, so that's your left hand. So chord-wise, what is it? The fully diminished 7th chord, F sharp diminished. F minor, right? Major 7. In classical tradition, we call that half diminished, or no, sorry, it's a minor with a major 7. You just have to write it that way, all out. And then next bar, E minor 7, D sharp completely diminished 7, D minor 7, and then G7, and then C major 7, because of the B. Just write it in as I'm speaking. Rewind the video to write it in. But it makes a beautiful chromatic left bass line. Next line. This is a diminished chord, right? but this is a major third. If that was here, that would be fully diminished, but this is half diminished. F sharp, half diminished. Then it becomes fully diminished in a third beat under friends. And then, so you went from here. The fully diminished chord is passe-partout. It goes everywhere. It can lead you anywhere, so it led you to the E minor. That one is, so E minor to C major, used a lot in romantic music. Very gloomy. So half diminished. Right, so because of the C minor going to G sounds like, oh, the sun is coming out. That's a C minor, G major, and then that's normal D7. D7 is the chord 5 of the, and then the B coming up. So basically you got the F sharp in the left hand for D7, and we expect the G, but it's passing through D minor 7 before the G. If it was just simple D7 to G, we call it secondary dominant. D is the dominant of G. But it goes through D minor because of the F natural in the right hand. So that's called chord 2 of the G, which is chord 5. So this cadence is a semi-cadence, halfway up. So when you're playing it, you hear that change of mood? Major to minor to G7. And you can then feel like, I'm not finishing here. I have to go somewhere. Because that G is chord 5, bringing us back to the beginning. There's nothing new here. So the A minor, C major, then the ending is F major 7. Chord number 4 often is added with a major 7 as well in a key. Now this is a D minor 9. D7, D minor 7, 9. And then G7. Okay, and then that's just an addition. What is that chord? This is the original chord. G diminished 7. Half diminished because it would be completely fully diminished 7th, but it's half diminished. In jazz world, they put it 7 flat 5 because the the G minor 7 would be here. We flat the 5, that note. So it makes it more interesting than just G7, right? So we go C, G, half diminished. So for those of you reharmonizing, you can always replace chord 5 with A half diminished before your chord 1. At the end of your song, any song that has a 5-1, reharmonize your 5 to a half diminished before your chord 1. And your chord 4 also. You just take this as an example. Chord 4, F major in a C major. You can always add a major 7 to it. What is the major 7? It's always a half step from the perfect octave. So chord 4 and chord 1, you can add a major 7th. And chord 5, at the end of a big section, a big cadence, you could do chord flat 5, 7 flat 5.